Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the grand finals of the Mr. Cat Invitational Sig.Trust versus Mineski from best of 5 to best of 3. We'll see who takes first place in this epic C tournament brought to you by none other than moonducktv. I am so excited to be here, to make it all the way this far in the tournament. We've had few cataclysmic disasters. It's been a pretty good tournament so far. I'm pumped up, man. 3 games ahead, hopefully. I'm Zyori, joined by Rhyme, Sig.Trust versus Mineski. Rhyme, the grand finals. Congratulations, sir. We made it. You made it. You survived through all those other games of clownery and trickery. High hopes here for the grand finals. The highest level of play.
Indeed. And now we're back to Drow Ranger. And I love it. We're going to see it. It's going to be second pick from Sig.Trust. And they're going to pick Drow Ranger plus 1 hero. Who knows what it's going to be? Mineski are going to probably pick something. I don't know if they're going to go for the first pick Slardar. They've done it every single game so far. Oh, they picked
there. It is.
They've had, yeah. They said we can do it too. So, what are Sig.Trust going to go with now that they don't have their Drow Ranger? The SD's already banned out, so they don't have their go-to response. Maybe they go for something like Faces Void, but that's not really what you want. Maybe probably the Bat Rider is a safe bet. It's Bat Rider plus 1 maybe.
Yeah, Bat Rider feels pretty good. Our odds a little bit skewed here. I think the Dota 2 lounge bets actually closed earlier than they should have. So this is a Sig.Trust 37% and the TBD is at 63%. Very strange odds. Usually it's the other way around. The guaranteed team in the finals has an advantage because you don't know who's going to be in it. But it's the fans not feeling good about Sig.Trust. Drow Ranger. What could this mean? Maybe thinking about a second pick Venge for Mineski. Maybe thinking about a Storm Spirit. Their Naga Siren did make it through, but with a Drow Ranger, doubtful they'll try to run both. There's the block pick, Vengeful Spirit. Sig.Trust will start with a support. I like Venge Bat Rider as an opener against this. I think that could work.
Yeah, it seems okay. I may suddenly disconnect from everything because my cat's looking at cables. That's not a good sign, but... Alright, so what could be picked with the Vengeful Spirit? I'm not really sure if Sig.Trust want to pick Invoker this early. You don't want to pick Invoker into Drow anyway, because it'll lose his lane horribly. Maybe Darkseer, although that's banned out. Rip. Just try to... picking against Drow is always a bit of a nightmare. You never really... Nothing ever seems really great against Drow, because Drow is Drow, and lanes are very difficult, and Drow does a lot of damage. But
yeah, we've seen heroes like Axe be pretty effective. Some teams like Slark. Any kind of Blink Dagger carriers, heroes that can be mobile, get in the back line. There he is.
Are you a prophet?
I think so.
Not
a nature's prophet, but...
That was awful. You should have just taken the compliment as it stood, dude.
I wanted to go to the next
disappointing.
level. Oh, no. I like Venge Axe, though. This is quite nice. A lot of mobility and a lot of control. Stun, Berserker's Call, a lot of kill potential also.
Alright, so you got Drow, plus 1 potential. What's our plus 1 here? Could be almost anything, really. Mineski pick whatever they really want. Could see Slardar, but that seems just not very good at all.
Disruptor, possibly.
Yeah, Witch Doctor. I was just looking at that here. Alright. That was, really. I really was. So it basically helps in lane, it gives you sustain, makes zoning out fairly easily. If the Axe wants to stay in the offlane, he's going to need a little bit of help because there's too much right-click damage sitting there right now. And killing seems very difficult. So Sig.Trust are going to go with the Storm ban. Mineski really do like running the Storm. They've proven they can do it. It's probably even better with Drow. Their heroes currently have a rough time dealing with a Farm Storm, even though you do have Axe who's pretty good against it.
Yeah.
So I do like that bet.
A hero that is a little bit similar to the Darkseer, I think. You can deal with him. It's not like picking him as a free win, but there are scenarios and stages of the game when he just becomes so unfun to play against. I think RR on the Bat Rider last game will attest to that, just constantly getting picked off. Storm has this ability to really isolate one person and pick on them, and once you become the easy target, the person that he knows he can kill pretty much every time, it's all the easier. He'll just jump in, stay aggressive, and take the advantage that way. More bans coming out. Faceless Void, the 4th from Sig.Trust, and Jug Wisp, the duo banned out now by Mineski. We'll see what Sig wants to pick, and it is the Invoker. More good team fight, good mid laner, and again, someone that can kind of stand against the Drow Ranger without a moment's hesitation. They take their prized Slardar. What are you thinking?
Now, I didn't like Starter before, but now that they've seen the Invoker, I do like it. But now they have the Wyvern. The Wyvern is going to be incredibly effective in this game. Wyvern has such a decent time versus these Drow strats, honestly. The Cold Embrace is incredibly effective. You can defend high ground with Splinter Blast, and the ulti is extremely good at killing someone who is at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yes.
So, I I don't want to say I favor Sig.Trust because honestly I don't feel it fits together very well. But
Choking on my coffee, sorry.
don't worry. Mineski are going to look for their 4th pick. Now, it could be, I think it's probably their mid hero right now, or their support, but something probably that's going to either threaten the Invoker, be it a hero that does well in the lane, or
Earth
a hero
Spirit.
that can roam on him. Earth Spirit is an option, but they'll probably go for something ranged, I think, because they've already got the starter. They need
That's true.
the ranged hero quota,
Whoa.
so they get the TA. Alright, now this is very interesting, because this could be very, very, very good, or this could be very, very, very bad. Because if TA doesn't have a really good start, then TA is playing a TA against Axe Call, Invoker Forward Spirits, Wyvern can save almost anyone, and you can get slowed by Arctic Burn. So if this TA can't choose exactly where and when she fights, and if the Axe is overfarmed, then she can't really have much of a game at all. So they need to make sure this mid lane goes well. And
Yeah.
by all means it should do, but we just don't quite know yet. So Mineski probably going to be looking to ban something that could roam on the TA, and then Mineski will be picking something that could roam on the Invoker. This mid lane will be something to watch.
Yeah.
And also to see if the Axe can get anything.
I think this is one of those lineups for Mineski where it's going to be boom or bust. They're either going to dominate lanes, snowball, and just knock down towers left and right, take a nice early Rosh with Slardar TA, and really take over the mid game, or these lanes will not go so well. Axe will do great in the off lane, matched up against Slardar. Maybe they'll do an aggro try so Axe gets that good matchup. If Drow Ranger doesn't have a great lane, if somehow TA dies, this could very quickly fall apart from Mineski. They have a lineup of heroes that don't really play that well from behind. Slardar reliant on the Blink Dagger, and Drow and TA very reliant on farm, early levels, all that kind of stuff. So definitely agree with you. These last two picks are going to be pretty important support-wise. Mineski, outside of the Earth Spirit, I mean, they could do the Tusk. It's a good ganking support.
Yeah. I don't
like
think
it,
I don't really like it here,
they
but
could.
one of the main things I always end up doing by mistake is I always assume that the Drow strat either has to succeed in lanes and then push down, get Rosh, and then win quickly, or it loses. But quite often that isn't actually the case, because Drow late game isn't bad, TA late game isn't bad. Like, Slardar is going to always be useful against Invoker and Venge, and Witch Doctor scales pretty well. And now you have a Veno. So, honestly, if Sig.Trust don't pick something that's good in late game, they could be looking pretty shaky in that respect. But
Yeah.
they probably want to have something that can get on top of the Drow, that can be comfortable being in a team fight with TA, not be crushed too hard by Veno.
I'm
and
not
can
sure
lane
how
decently
I
against Slardar.
feel about support Veno, though. I think Veno is a little bit stronger as a core. Like, to me, where he really shines are lanes where there isn't much kill potential. You know, something like a DK. You just sit there and you take over mid, you spam your wards down, and you become this
Honestly,
just...
I feel that if he buys, like, he can just Iron Talon jungle in this game, honestly. Like, you've got TA versus Invoker. Like, that TA doesn't really need help in that lane. You've got Drow Witch Doctor versus Axe plus whatever is on bot lane. They should do absolutely fine. Slardar is going to do what he does. They have Wyvern Venge, so he's probably going to get zoned pretty hard, but they could get a lot out of
You
jungle.
bring up a really interesting point. Veno can jungle very quick. I saw Swindle do it on Dire side, where he was stacking camps all at once, and it was really, really efficient, but... Veno can already farm jungle fairly fast with Plague Wards. The damage type was changed 2 patches ago, 3 patches ago. It's something piercing damage is now better against neutrals or something like that. So he actually does farm more quickly than you might expect. And with the addition of an Iron Talon, it's pretty nuts. But now Lakells picks up the Terra Blade. So nice illusion carry, can come online early, can push, and does give them some late game against the TA Slardar Drow.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, this Terrorblade should have a decent lane. He does okay versus Slardar. They don't have any real hard disable, so the Sunder is going to be a big factor if this game goes to mid-late game, because they just don't really have the burst to, or the disable to stop him, because he will have a Manta against the Silence and things like that. So I really want to see if Sig.Trust can get a hold on their top lane and get a hold of their mid lane, because if they do that, I think this game gets much more simplified for them. Not necessarily easier, but simpler.
Okay, I could agree with that. How do they set up these lanes? Anything too crazy from Mineski? This is also completely new. We haven't seen a single Venomancer pick.
Ah, Venomancer, Iron Talent. Yeah, look at it. Look at it. It's great.
Look at his set, too. This is one tricked out Veno. Look at him. He's got little larva sacks all over his cute little belly there. This is a styling Venomancer. Ninja Boogie is prepared for this. He's got Immortal Plague Wards. He's got all sorts of
bananas, dude.
Infused nonsense. Are these the
Venge
bananas?
will get the quick lane ward on middle, so TA will know what's going on. The Witch Doctor has been the guy who's been told to buy everything, so this Witch Doctor, I think he should be fine. Like he's got access to pools and things like that. I'm just gonna be interested because like Mineski have to get a lot out of their jungle, and they need to do well in their lane. So they need to get quite a lot out of this early game, and be very efficient with their hero movements. Otherwise, they'll fall behind.
I think one of the hardest parts about putting the Veno in the jungle like this is actually not the early game. It's pretty easy to get a lot out of the jungle when you have the Iron Talon. It's transitioning that into successful ganks and a really strong mid to late game. The one last time I saw this, I think it was maybe TI6 qualifiers when Swindle did it. And they actually had that issue where he was #1 on net worth at like 15 minutes, and then they couldn't really use it to... You can't really flash push towers with Veno. He can be a good ganker if you can connect with the Gale, but if you see it coming, he's not the easiest hero to gank with. There is an option always to just focus on your farm and just rush the Veil, Ags, Blink Dagger. That's like the trio of items that take Veno from, yeah, he does some damage, to holy shit, that was a lot of damage on our entire team. And if he's able to get those three, maybe Mineski can fight around a timing as he hits those core items. I'm really curious to see how he transitions this, like the timing to move out of the jungle. You know, that's the stuff that's interesting about this strat.
Yeah, the main thing that I think that it's not necessarily the quantity of farm that he can get on Radiant, it's the distribution. Because the Slardite, if you look, he's not going to get anything for a long time. Venge is willing to sit here until the end of time. So Slardite is going to suffer, and he doesn't have a jungle to go back into. So the Veno, well, you're right, he needs to be able to move successfully out of this. And if he can't, then the Slardar is probably going to be the one that suffers.
Yeah, so mid lane will just be a solo matchup for now. TA versus Invoker. Looks like the TA off to a very good start here. 7-2 compared to the 0-0 jabs. Less than ideal. He has the cool set, but so far does not have the last hits.
He's got the full wave on the tower. Honestly, this is fine. Like he's going to be last hitting on the tower. This is really good for Invoker, actually. Like if TA's not going to be able to deny too much, he's going to get...
Fei Mao just laying into Bocarino. This is so hard. Sardar trying to use his camp, and he can't. I mean, Venge is right there. But yeah, back mid. Yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe I
it's
just
not the worst thing.
Yeah, I looked at it too soon. The creep equilibrium made it look a little more one-sided than it was. Also, a reminder with Sig, they are playing with TNT again today, so they have rotated their roles. Jabs used to be on the 4, now playing mid. Yesterday he played pretty well. We saw him play Storm Spirit in at least 2 of the games, and
one game he had a crisis.
Yeah,
and then the other game he also had a crisis, but he won that game, I think.
Yeah, and then did he play Invoker in game 3?
I can't remember. I'm sorry.
I can't remember either. But
I'll look it up.
I felt like he played fairly well though overall. The Storm games were a little hit or miss, a couple of weird plays, a lot of rotations coming his way. All things considered, given that he's not really known as being a mid player, at least not in recent memory, I think he did just fine. So up against Miracle, he'll have a pretty tough opponent. And now things getting more lopsided the other way again. 14-7 on TA, 7-1 on the Invoker. He'll get this creep wave under the tower again, but it's still a little tough for him.
And you're right, he was playing Invoker in that last game, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Bocarino, still not level 2 yet. Going for the creep pull, and that will not work.
Yeah, Miracle's pretty much having the run of the lane here. This is not a good lane for Invoker.
But the other lanes are going pretty okay. I mean, Sig.Trust... Well, there's that Venge in the jungle. So even though their laning heroes are doing pretty well, you would expect that. It's sort of a 4v5 right now, and Venge is... Or pardon me, Veno is definitely making up for it. He's halfway through level 4. He's barely had to move around. This is pretty remarkable farm. You don't think of Veno as a fast jungler, but he actually is.
He's the fastest jungler in the game, bar none.
Faster than Enigma?
Yes.
Faster than Beastmaster with an Iron Talon?
Oh yes.
Alright. Well,
He is
you heard it here
slightly
first,
ridiculous.
Slightly ridiculous. He is ridiculous. Just look at him. Banana eating
Banana
freak.
looking mother. Alright, so if we look at mid lane, Invoker's gonna get. He's gonna try and get his Aquila. He's got 12 CS to Miracle's 25. Miracle's got as many denies as Invoker has lost it. It's pretty much Drought or a TA versus Invoker, I'll be honest. It's not the best lane in the world for him,
Bocarino, like, can't get
Oh,
anything.
no.
Uh-oh,
Witch
hasted
Doctor.
jewels. That's a first blood. Not much you can do against that.
There's not much you could do about that one. Like, Invoker's just going, alright, I'm dead. What else? But now Invoker needs to have sentries because the TA will now have traps. So there's always the threat of, like, even being solo killed. And there's just much of a farm disparity.
And Raging Potato having plenty of space in the safe lane. Axe has just been focused on the jungle, so kind of making up for the Venomancer effect on the other side. Axe jungling very
look at
quickly.
this. Look at this stack. Get in there, Axe. Oh, doesn't that feel wonderful?
What is this, 4 stack? Yep.
Yeah, 4
One
stack.
of each. Yummy, yummy. So net worth, something about Veno being the fastest jungler. Axe is quite a bit ahead of him by about 500 net worth. Oh my. If you have stacks from your supports, all of a sudden the Axe jungling is pretty darn impressive.
If Axe gets stacks, he's faster. I think Axe can get the fastest level 6, but past then, Veno takes over because he's got the level 7 Plague Wars, but this is all like really boring theoretical stuff.
Yeah.
But I know Axe can get level 6 at like 3 minutes 20 or something silly if he has a perfect jungle with Iron Talon.
Okay, that is actually absurd. I used to think of the benchmark is if you can keep up with the mid laner in solo XP, then you're doing pretty well in the jungle. That was sort of the standard that Enigma used to set. Now Iron Talon has completely changed that. Pretty much anybody with an Iron Talon and uncontested jungle can get close to that. TNT in a world of hurt down bottom. Cold Embrace as he flies into fog. Very nice little play right there. Doesn't overreact to it. Just gets over the tree line. And he will live. Halfway through level 4. Winter Wyvern actually off to an okay start. Mid lane.
Okay, so Veno has decided that he's able just to defend the tower top. He's going to stop the Terrorblade from pushing, and he's going to give the jungle back over to the Slardar. Miracle's going to get pressured by the Axe, so he's going to give Invoker a little bit of space by backing up here. There was a smoke by the Venge, so I think that was a smoke gank actually.
This is a cool rotation, though. I like the idea of power farming the Veno. He's level 6, so he is actually pretty survivable. And
well, if he dies here, though, this could be pretty bad. He's walking straight into the Venge. Oh, he's going to place a ward now. So he's probably going to spot them.
Terrorblade, no point in reflection. So just going for this more passive, farm-oriented build.
Yeah, he doesn't go for reflection, and I don't really like it, honestly. I feel that you should probably get at least 1 point. Because it is pretty value.
That's kind of how I feel. That 1 point can be the make it or break it between these kind of gangs. But Ninja Boogie, soon to be wrapped around on. Fei Mao's made it into the tree line. Reppin' Mr. Cat here. Look at this guy. Look at this badass. Fei Mao the cat. I just noticed that. The cat strat. Here we go. Abba on the way in. Nice setup from the Venge. Berserker's Call will connect, and Ninja Boogie will feel the pain of the Culling Blade. Mid lane, it's going to be a 2-on-1. Miracle doing a lot of damage to jabs. Sunstrike comes in, just barely connects, and they've got the damage. Great rotation from TNT. Easy to underestimate the damage output from Splinter Blast and Arctic Burn, but it adds up, cuts through the refraction, and the double damage TA gets punished. 2-1, Sig.Trust coming back.
Yeah, so this Invoker is catching up. He doesn't even feel like going boots, he's just going to go Midas. He doesn't really think he can die at this point. Oh, Witch Doctor just getting the CS because he hits for 100, which is perfectly fine.
Totally normal, 7 minutes in. It's the raindrops.
Balanced.
That's the raindrop effect.
So Wyvern's going to get his level 6 at 7 minutes, which is pretty good. Witch Doctor sitting at level 4, Veno sitting at level 7. Yeah, still the main losers in this game are going to be the Slardar and the Venge. Those two heroes are not having a very good time.
Bocarino, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, Boki, come on, my man.
Yeah, he's...
that was
Crouching Tiger, hidden something or other, but I don't really know. It didn't really work out for him.
Hidden Snail. I mean, what are you going to do there? What's the best case scenario with a play like that? They don't see you, and you walk in on the Invoker and set up a stun?
Yeah, there's like, people are just elsewhere, no one's looking in that area, and then you sprint past, you catch the Invoker with a stun, then you kill him with Tear Trap. But now Invoker has double 4 spirits, and he's getting close to Midas. Miracle has to basically just push out this lane constantly and then go farm Ancients, which gives Invoker almost complete free farm.
That was...
So
I mean, we've been using the word ambitious a lot, but for Bocarino, that's like, I'm level 4, guys, I don't have any items, but if I get... It's like high risk, mid reward, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so Drow is... Her farm's
Quite
okay. Looking at net worth now, she's sitting just equal to the Terrorblade. She's going to get a Dragon Lance. Terrorblade is... Well, he's just been farming top lane. Look, he's just fighting this army of wards.
Yeah, I think
So
Terrorblade,
right now-
actually one of the better heroes to kind of deal with the bench, because he has these
Drow,
illusions.
no.
Uh-oh. Is she going to get caught? Abba taking a decent amount of damage. The marksmanship gets broken, and she just doesn't have it. The Winter's Curse to lock her in place to set up for the Berserker's Call. Sunstrike going to be off the mark.
Hold
He
on.
actually doesn't have enough
This
mana
is
for
not
the
going to
call.
go well. Are they all... No.
I
No
think
way.
she's going to get a double.
He's got the silence too.
The potato. He roasts them and
So-
toasts them. So basically what happened there, Axe was like 3 mana short from his Berserker's Call. And if he gets that off, the Sunstrike connects. It's an easy setup. 3 mana
Yeah.
just cost them a double kill on the Drow Ranger.
Yeah, they needed to hit the Sunstrike and then immediately Culling Blade him, but yeah. So Drow, they rotate 2 of their most experienced heroes into the bottom lane, and then they give Drow double kill and level 11, and now she's going to get this tier 2 as well. So, okay, maybe they catch her here. Yeah, they get the slow,
Oh.
they get the Sunstrike.
Oh,
No,
it's
not
so
quite.
close.
They don't have dagger anyway, so he's off.
No way to close the gap.
So that, I'd say, is a value. That Drow right there, that is some value town. It's just...
Yeah, it's a completed Dragon Lance.
And he's got lifesteal as well, so he can just go wherever he wants, farm at the speed of light. Terrorblade's sitting up here. He's not doing too bad himself, but he's now considerably far behind the Drow because of that eventuality.
Yeah, and TA, did she clear a stack or something while we were looking at all that? She's got a lot of farm all of a sudden.
She's just been pushing out mid lane, farming Ancients, so
sitting in the
she's
lane,
been
okay.
doing pretty well. I think stacking Ancients is really overrated for a TA. I think, honestly, you just get level 6 or 5, and then you push out lane, and you just take Ancients from there as soon as you get treads, or whatever. Maybe a Keeler or something else.
Up top, Fei Mao taking a lot of damage. Drow gets another one. Killing
Oh,
spree for the potato.
He's in trouble.
He does have a Sunder. Gets it off. Bocarino still connects on the stun. I don't think this matters. Throws a couple of right clicks, but they'll kill him effectively twice, and another double kill for the Drow Ranger. This is what momentum is all about when you're playing a hero like this. She's so confident that a Mask of Madness will be her next item.
Yep, so she dies almost instantly if they get on top of her, but I don't think they will. And Drow's just killing everyone. That's not usually what you expect in this kind of game, like Drow to be the one to make all the moves, to be the one ganking, but she is.
Yeah, I mean, to be
But
fair, I don't know if it was completely part of the plan, as she did just get a free double kill down bottom at kind of the ideal time, right when you're starting to come up to that, you know, first peak of your power curve. Look how much damage she does at this
Jabs
tier
is
two.
under attack, and he's fallen over.
Oh, yeah. Sunstrike not going to connect.
Bocarino is, he's running off.
I'm going to take another fight up top.
There's a smoke coming from the axe or the blink dagger.
Here we go. Catches with the Berserker's Call. Venno nearby does not have the ult. He's already used it, but Miracle jumps in with a double damage rune. Sure, they lose their Drow, but they're about to clean house. Lakel's taking huge damage. Does not have a Sunder available. This could be a full team wipe as Abba gets left behind. He'll try to TP home with the extra armor on. Slardar's there, but they don't have the interrupt. Slithering Crush, I guess, just coming off cooldown.
So they lost their Drow, but I'd say... I think they're happy with that.
Pretty worth. They get a tier 2 tower and a 1 for 4. Yeah, look at that gold graph. Mineski with a 10k net worth lead now.
Yep, so Miracle is getting more and more farmed. He doesn't buy treads, but I guess he doesn't need them. He's probably looking towards getting his Deso fairly soon, and then people are going to start disappearing very quickly. So Jaws is going to ward the Rosh, and he's going to deward. He sees the Observer. Maybe he hangs around here and gets caught by jabs? Not quite.
No, not quite indeed. Invoker so far behind right now. He's behind the jungling Venomancer, about on par with the offlane Slardar, and we saw how much Bocarino was zoned out early on. This is a dismal state for Sig.Trust. All of their cores really struggling compared to that of Mineski.
They're basically entirely reliant on this axe getting a good call, and they need to kill the Drow, for sure, but they also need to deal with TA. And I don't think right now they can deal with them both, so all they really need to do is just wait, play back, try and make Mineski overextend, and don't let them get this Rosh, because they have Wyvern. They have a lot of these tools that they need to stop this Rosh. So they just need to be patient and to wait for Mineski to make a mistake.
Yeah, the difference here is Mineski do have a pretty good vision advantage because of all these plague wards. He just keeps spamming them out and giving intel on where Sig.Trust are. You look at the Sig side, and they are totally dark. Not a single ward down on the map right now. Really have no idea of exactly what's going on. They know that the enemy team is around the Rosh pit, but they're doing a good job not committing for it. Yeah, they're going to smoke around.
Got the full damage combo up. Oh, they scan, they see the smoke. That is
great read from
That's sad times. Oh, they know the smoke's broke and they ping the hard camp, but they don't quite find Jules. He's just sitting here, he knows what's up. He's trying to cancel this auto attack.
Mineski are not in a great position to take this fight, though. Now Ninja Boogie gets caught. Sunstrike does connect this time. Culling Blade's there. Venge shows himself from the tree line. That's not Venge, that's Witch Doctor. Cask bouncing around. Does get the curse on a few heroes, but Mineski very spread out. Now Miracle gets caught. Oh, no. This is not the fight that they wanted to take. They had such an advantage, and now they'll throw it away. That's a big streak down. Winner's Curse locks Bocarino in place. Berserker's Call not even needed as the Terrorblade brings him down 3-0. Great smoke rotation around the backside. Mineski even caught them with the scan. They should have known that was coming. And, I mean, they did do a good job breaking the smoke, to be fair, but after that, it didn't seem like there was much of a game plan.
Yeah, they basically... The Veno just got caught instantly. He didn't get anything off. He died to the Invoker plus the Axe. And then Winter Wyvern zoned out the TA completely. So TA was just like, I've got a Blink Dagger, but I can't do anything. It's just... Oh, Jules, that was... what was the word we were using?
Ambitious?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, Feimal gets left behind. Mask of Madness on the high ground. Raging Potato gets a recovery kill. At least they trade 1-for-1 on supports, but Aegis of the Immortal does go the way of Mr. Terrorblade? No, it's the Invoker, pardon me.
Invoker is the one who will be receiving the Aegis today. So, Terrorblade, he's getting closer and closer, so the gap between Drow and the other heroes is decreasing. Oh, Bocarino is waiting with his Blink Dagger. He's trying to use it.
Turn of events, though.
Yeah, so the Rosh does not go to Mineski, so they won't be going for the tier 3 push anytime soon.
Right, and Ninja Boogie now, he's gone mech and Arcane Boots. So not going damage Venomancer, that build that I was talking about with the Veil, Ags, Blink. Instead, he's going more just greedy for support items. And the mech will definitely make a difference. It synergizes well with what you want to do with a draft like this in terms of spending a lot of time grouped up, taking objectives, fighting over Rosh, especially when you have this kind of minus armor. So the mech will give them a team fight advantage that Sig.Trust doesn't have. But there is an opportunity cost there where Veno could have just gone for disgusting damage. Like even just going Veil into Blink can buff up a lot of damage. They don't have that much magic damage this game, so maybe not a Veil game, but that kind of build is always an option. Abba down bottom. Is this a freebie for the Drow Ranger?
It is indeed.
Sunstrike off the mark.
So they get a pick off on the Axe. Drow sitting at level 14, which she didn't even get Rosh, so that's pretty ridiculous. The Miracle is going for the Hurricane Pike. So they're going to have 2 Hurricane Pikes on their team, so there's going to be 2 people who are probably just going to die to right clicks immediately. Miracle's going to look at this Ancient stack. Dire, they have no way of really contesting this. Invoker's still really, really underfarmed, so it's going to be a while before he can become relevant. They just need to give... Okay, they're giving farm to their Venge, which I really, really like. This Venge needs to be able to survive the initial few Drow right clicks, so she can actually get a spell off. And giving her farm so she maybe get Treads or Tranquils or something else. Oh, are they going to catch her? Oh, no, not quite.
Good idea from Bocarino. Blinked over the tree line, had to make a guess, doesn't quite find it. Jabs going in on the Ninja Boogie, no way to slow him down, and the Boogie will just walk away. Yeah, I need to carry TPs against this Drow Ranger. Axe is lacking one right now.
Oh, Shadowblade coming up with Drow, so she's going for the whole, like, I'm going to kill everyone by myself mentality. Okay. Which I don't really fault. This is... I mean, she's had success with it so far.
And it's a great hybrid. When you already have Hurricane Pike and Mask of Madness, she's got insane mobility. You pop Mask of Madness, then Shadowblade, her movement speed is pretty serious. She can get out of a lot of sticky situations.
She sees where the Axe and the Venge are, so she knows what's going on. Jabs is going to pick up this Bounty Rune. He's basically just going to be farming for a while. Okay, so Sig.Trust are going to be looking at this tier 2 or tier 1 bottom. They have meta, but they don't really want to move the TB here. Ninja Boogie, he's just waiting around. Just chilling.
Nice lane ward, so they'll see if any rotations come about. I think Sig.Trust probably trying to force a reaction here. TP into the tree line will be the Witch Doctor, also smoked up. This is a full 5-hero rotation now from Sig.Trust. Even Terrorblade coming down as you were talking about. Tower getting low, and this should be an easy one. Glyph buys it some time. Maybe a deny. Mineski come in like they want to take a fight. Drow.
Oh, jabs. Oh, the cast is going to go on jabs and accidentally can perma-stun.
Uh-oh, nice swap. Now the Witch Doctor ult doing some good damage here. Lakel's able to tank through it for now. Miracle drops the Hurricane Pike. Huge damage coming out. It'll be just enough to bring down the Terrorblade. Raging Potato takes the winner's curse. His teammates won't be nearby to attack him, but it does stop him from doing big damage himself. It's looking bad for Sig.Trust. They've lost 3 already. Jabs soon to fall. Venge gets cleaned up. And this will be a 6-0 when it's all said and done, if you count the Aegis, or rather 5 plus Aegis. Ultra kill for the TA. And I don't know if there's much more to say. Mineski just run over him.
That was not the ideal fight for Sig.Trust. Their Terrorblade, he doesn't have Manta. He's just getting silenced and Vanawalted, and he's just walking around at like 2 movement speed and dying to TA right clicks from like halfway across the world because of Hurricane Pike. So, honestly, I don't know. It's really difficult for them to take any fights. I feel that they felt they had to do something with the Aegis, but I think they would be better served to just kind of split the map and wait for Mineski to push high ground.
I think they could have done that without the Terrorblade too. They could have just chipped at the tower, kind of put pressure on the lane, force a reaction while they're still farming and pushing out the other lanes also. And
the Rex are going to go down, and Drow is going to look for the pick-off. Maybe. No. Oh, he's off.
Certainly thinking about it. 20 minutes in, they will be happy with a lane of barracks. And more items going to be inbound here. The way they itemized was so smart. So much mobility and hard to lock down these heroes on Mineski. You've got 2 Hurricane Pikes, 2 Blink Daggers, a Shadow Blade, and a Glimmer Cape. At 20 minutes, that's a lot of ways to get into the fight, get out of the fight, and just instill chaos. Even Bocarino, the same deal. He wants to do what he did last game. Blink in, get the crush, walk out, rinse and repeat, and just keep breaking it up, getting reset so Mineski can, win the late game in those little engagements.
Imagine being Bocarino. Your destiny is to play Slardar till the end of time.
Maybe
I
he
would
likes
reconsider my. Does anyone like playing Slardar? Oh,
I bet Bocarino does. Yeah, Miracle taking a lot of damage here. Force Staff. Now he gets healed up. Whoa, in a little bit too deep on that one. The swamp will pull him into the tier 2 range. Witch Doctor.
Orange is going to get the range tracks on the bottom lane as this happens, though.
Yeah,
so that's still worth it for Sig.Trust. Definitely worth. Slardar with the stun coming in. Jabs is.
However, Jabs so
is gonna
dead.
Die?
No.
Oh, with a TB.
Defensive Sunder. Very nice. Ninja Boogie, Glimmer Cape. He'll be able to walk away. Dude, these
dead.
Plague Wards right now are doing a ridiculous amount of damage. Now the Drow comes over.
Has entered the game.
Yeah, that defensive swap looked good when it was a 4v5. Now that Raging Potato is here, it'll be a quick 4-for-1, and that's it.
Good game.
Game number 1 of this grand finals. 21 minutes. The Drow strat reigns true. Oh my, Sig.Trust now 1 game away from taking 2nd place.
Aren't you just glad Drow is being picked again? We get to the finals. We had a break, We didn't see Drow for a few series, and then Sig.Trust appear, and then Drow is very, very, very prevalent.
Dude, Mineski, they mind gamed him. They didn't play Drow Ranger before. Sig.Trust was watching, so they didn't think to ban it. Then they win game 1 with a quick Drow strat. I mean, look at the KDA, 10-1-5. Drow was involved in 15 of their 20 kills.
I feel that the Axe and the Wyvern came bearing gifts, though, for a while. They kind of gave him a little bit of a head start. And honestly, I do like this draft from Mineski. Like, Sig.Trust were just trying to get stuff out of their lanes, farm as much as they could, get their items around 10-15 minutes, but Mineski, they were just like, okay, we're going to farm a Vano, we're going to have a mech, we're going to have Drow who has free farm, we're going to get your towers. Our mid matchup's going to be absolutely ridiculous against Invoker. So they just out-farmed, and then they took a series of really good fights. They had 1 bad fight, and they gave up Rosh, but then they got another good one, and obviously, once you have a few good fights with the Drow, you just kind of start taking buildings, and then it goes from there.
That is the way of it. Well, with that said, guys and girls, we're taking a break. Game 2 of Mineski and Sig.Trust set to get underway. Hopefully, Sig can shake this off, ban out the Drow Ranger, so we don't see a rinse and repeat. Same deal. I'm starting to join camps with Rhyme here. I would be quite happy to see Drow Ranger just forgotten about for the rest of this series, but something tells me that that might not be the case. Stick around because we got more Dota coming your way. This is the grand finals of the Mr. Cat Invitational here on moonducktv. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure to bring you guys this tournament. Hope to do it again after this TI season. One more game at least coming up next.